We're here in turn number 4 at the Indianapolis Fairgrounds for the Hoosier 100 for the final time. Last time we ever get to be here, last time you will see this place as a car racing track, and now it'll be a horse racing track. We have a lot to unpack from this one. I'm joined alongside my good friend Joe Donnie, who makes a lot of good stop motion stuff on YouTube. Go subscribe to him. Joe, what do you think tonight's race?
Well, I love Silver Crown. It's such just a pure form of motorsports. And I mean, you look around the Indianapolis Fairgrounds, this track is so rich in history. I mean, it's just cut to the bone. It is straight racing, good home style on dirt. Obviously, I love dirt. I'm a Pennsylvania boy, you know, repping the posse. But it was a really great race, really cool to enjoy this race, especially following the Indy 500 like we did. But in terms of the race itself, I've always thought Silver Crown's very like back and forth type of racing. It seems like the guy up front pulls away and then gets caught back up too very quickly. So it was nice to see that. We had some nice battles with Kyle Larson, Tyler Courtney, and CJ Leary. So the three guys kind of went back and forth throughout the night, which was really awesome to see because, you know, we don't like to see one car just take the race from the get-go. And we had originally thought maybe Larson would do that because, you know, he's Kyle Larson, but he didn't. And so that was really cool to see that the race was kept interesting. There were a lot of crashes, though. That wasn't as great. We don't like to see when our drivers get hurt. So we were a little less than enthralled to see one of our guys.
Before we start talking about the guys mixing up at the front,
right?
Let's start from the very beginning.
Okay.
Kyle Larson won the pole, and I never got a clear word on what it actually was, but in Silver Crown Racing, I think, is it particularly this race that you can start from the back, and if you win from the back, even though you won the pole, you win a larger chunk of money. Mm-hmm. Is that specifically this race?
That is not. Actually, that happened at the Carb Night Classic the very first time I ever went. Tanner Swanson, Kody Swanson's brother did.
Tanner Swanson always wins that race.
Yeah. It happens a lot, too, in the hometown races, like, you know, back home with my local dirt tracks, they do the same thing. And it is cool. It adds a little dynamic to the race that all the fans get to enjoy out here on the track. So,
well, Kyle won the pole, went to the back to try and win that extra chunk of money. Obviously, it's a 100-mile race, long way to go. Made a lot of sense for him to do that because, you know, by lap 3, lap 4, I was pointing out to Joe, he was just coming through the field. It was obvious how quick he was from the very get-go. But it actually took a while for this race to get started, as around, I want to say lap 9, maybe earlier, there was this huge crash on the back straight. I didn't get footage of this, but we just kind of looked over the back straight, and there are 2 cars flipping. There was the 40, and there was another car behind him. It was just chaos, and the car actually ended up on top of the guardrail. Crazy stuff. Got the end result. All drivers were okay, but then right when we went to the restart, there was a huge crash once again coming on the back straight, same spot, and one of the drivers had to be put on a stretcher, taken to the hospital. No word on him yet. We're definitely thinking about him. He's in our thoughts and prayers. Really hope that he's okay because you never like to see that. But a slow start. And in that first wreck, a guy that we were talking about going into this, a guy that everybody has been high on, the guy who won the Freedom 90, the Indy Pro 2000 race at Lucas Oil Raceway, Kody Swanson. All the talk was on Kody, and he was involved in that first wreck very, very early on. Actually, we just got word from cameraman Kevin. We just got word from cameraman Kevin that the driver, John Heidenreich, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that last name, is all right, which is a good sign. It did not look good.
No, it did not.
We were very concerned.
Yeah.
You'd hate to see that, but earlier on in that crash, we had Kody Swanson. He was going for his 5th Hoosier 100 victory. That would have put him with a lot of legendary names. 5-time Silver Crown champion. That was really eye-opening to see him out of the race so early, and Brady Bacon as well involved in that crash.
Brady Bacon was in the second one, yeah.
Yeah, he was in the second crash. So a lot of good cars taken out early in the race, and then from then on, it was very apparent because Kyle Larson at that point, so early on, had worked his way to 4th, and it was very apparent as he took the lead, but it wasn't as easy as you may think. Right on the restart, CJ Leary took the lead back, and then Tyler Courtney came from 3rd, and he worked his way to the lead at some point, and then shuffled back to 3rd to 2nd, like Joe mentioned earlier. lots of the shuffling, just brilliant stuff. You never knew. Obviously, it's a mile-long track. We were in the infield, and you never knew who was going to be the lead when they went by. And later in the race, a few more yellows. There was one more flip right in front of us.
Right. Yeah, he hit the wall about 90 degrees from where the
literally
camera
right
is,
where we're standing.
and then flipped right up over here. Yeah, right behind where Kyle is.
And of course, it was the one time I wasn't filming. We've had a busy schedule. It was the one time we decided to eat, and there's a car flipping in front of us.
Yep.
So didn't get that one, but we had that flip. He was okay.
He was okay.
A few drivers went out with mechanicals, I believe. Chad Kemenall crashed, and who was the...
Kevin Thomas Jr. was the one who was having issues the whole night. He seemed to be angry behind the wheel. Kyle had mentioned that he'd come out of the corners, turns 4 and 2 right onto the straightaways, and he would just gun the throttle.
You'd see the white smoke.
Yeah, he'd pull tire smoke, and then he'd get off the throttle when he went down the straightaway. So we weren't quite sure what was going on with him. We're not experts on the Silver Crown cars, mechanical abilities, and how to tell what's going on with them. But he was very frustrated behind the wheel. We could tell that much, and he ended his night early as well.
But the biggest key of attrition was Tyler Courtney, our defending champion of this race. He was mixed out. I was watching the time and scoring. He was a bit faster than Larson was, and he was going to make his way to the field. I thought we were going to get an amazing 3-car finish, but all of a sudden, coming down the back straight, front straight, he was slow, and keep checking the time and scoring, and he's going laps down, and he's off track. Don't know what happened there, but Tyler Courtney, defending champion, didn't finish the race. So some big names: Tyler Courtney, Kevin Thomas Jr. not able to finish.
Kody Swanson, obviously that's a big name. Anybody who follows the Silver Crown Series know I think he is now the single winningest driver in Silver Crown history. So obviously for him to not finish a race, it's a pretty big deal. How successful he's been in this series. Brady Bacon got involved in that one crash, and Brady Bacon's been doing pretty well this year. I remember him winning a race earlier this year, but I don't remember which one exactly. Yeah, there's some big names that dropped out, and then Tyler Courtney. But we had been talking because we had heard his engine did not sound quite on par with.
It was a bit
else.
quieter, I would say, but I don't say, like I said, I don't think we'd know enough mechanically to say, if that was an engine failure, what was going on, specifically. But obviously, you didn't have to race with mechanical, so we must know something. But now to the meat and potatoes.
Meat and potatoes. I like meat and potatoes.
The guy everyone probably clicked on this video for, young money Kyle Larson, you're gonna love this, took the lead for the final time on lap 69. I knew it. Took the lead. Like I said, I thought Tyler Courtney had a thing for him, mechanical failure, and it was just CJ Leary trying to chase Kyle Larson for the last 20 or so laps, and obviously had nothing for it. Kyle Larson takes the win, his first ever Hoosier 100 win in his second start here. Second win on a mile-long track. He wanted a coin in 2011, and like I said, it's brilliance. It's just anytime you can go see Kyle Larson on a dirt track, do it. It's brilliant to watch. He hasn't been in a wingless car since 2012 when Chip Ganassi said no more, and I'm blown away. Final Hoosier 100. If you told me a year ago when I saw Tyler Courtney win this thing that I would be watching Kyle Larson win it, I would be saying you are crazy. It's awesome to see. But that'll do it from the Hoosier 100. Joe, you have anything else to say?
It's just a really great event, and I'm really disappointed to see it go. They're going to bring it to Terre Haute, the Hoosier 100 at Terre Haute, but I mean, this is where it's happened. 62 years, 62 races. I mean, it's Indy. This is Indy, and it's such a big thing to have, and even this facility hosts the state fair. It hosts the 4-wheel jamboree for monster trucks, but to see this track that we're standing on, to see this straightaway, so many people have raced in the Hoosier 100, big names, and especially back in the day when the IndyCar race was part of the Champ Car season, that was the only asphalt race they ran, and the rest of the season was out on tracks like this one or like DuQuoin, stuff like that. This is such a pure piece of racing history, especially if you want to talk about Indy cars and the history of where that's come from. To see this go it's really a shame, but I'm very fortunate, and Kyle and Kevin as well. We're very fortunate to have been able to come out and enjoy this one last time.
Yeah, you said it. I said last year. I think I mentioned it to David you've heard me, talk about the Hoosier 100. You were there on Discord when I found out this was coming back. I screamed my head off. I was so pumped for this race.
Yeah.
I was depressed about it for a year. I'm about to be depressed again. This is one of the best shows of the year, the highlight of my year. Love this race. Sad to see it go. I guess I'll have to go to Terre Haute for the Hoosier 100 next. So, but yeah, it's been a great time. Sad. But thank you for watching. If you want more content like this, go down and subscribe. Subscribe to Joe Donahue on YouTube. Also, quick plug, subscribe to Original Big Bri. We love you, Brian.
We love you, Brian.
Go grab his merchandise. It obviously is amazing. But that'll do it. I'll be uploading some Indy 500 stuff because I was there today as well. Been busy. And yeah, I will see you in the next one.